For the first time in a decade, Texas lawmakers are focusing on water.
The ongoing drought, growing population, and deteriorating infrastructure depleting the state's water supply.
These were all issues the KVUE defenders explored back in November.
So we're looking at what's been proposed to make sure Texas doesn't run out of our most precious resource. As investigative reporter Jenny Lee shows us, one small Travis County community is counting on it.
Behind a locked gate and a locked door sit several water and pressure tanks. It's Warren Lockhart's job to make sure they all work. He's the president of the High Valley Water Supply Corporation. Every day he reads the water meter.
42, 782, 200.
And records it in his trusty notebook.
I'll subtract it from yesterday's reading, and that tells us how much water we use each day.
If the number is too high,
then that means we got a leak somewhere, so we go drive around and find the leak.
Lockhart says water leaks are common in his small Summervale neighborhood in southwest Travis County near RM 1826.
This year we hadn't had very many. I'd say last year we've had 15 or 20.
He makes so many repairs, he keeps dozens of pipe replacement parts on hand.
And I do help when they have water leaks.
Lockhart's daughter, Michelle Metcalf, is the water company's only full-time employee.
I am the manager bookkeeper. I take care of the bills.
Both Lockhart and Metcalf say there is a solution. If you had newer pipes, do you think that would help prevent the leaks?
100%, yeah. I think it would.
But the father-daughter duo says the water company can't afford to replace the pipes that have been around since the early 1970s. They've turned to state and county elected leaders for help.
There are some small pockets of neighborhoods that have private water companies, and they're just barely hanging on.
State Representative Vicki Goodwin says she visited the Summervale neighborhood after a fire destroyed a mobile home in May of last year, and residents were concerned about a lack of fire hydrants. That fire broke out next door to the High Valley Water Supply Corporation.
They fall in the cracks of a community that doesn't have the resources.
Representative Goodwin is also part of the new Texas House Water Caucus, a group of more than 65 lawmakers focused on water issues like aging water systems and water loss.
Estimates put this water loss between 136 billion gallons a year, and 70% of our water supply pipes are needed to be replaced or repaired.
State Senator Charles Perry chairs the Senate Committee on Water, Agriculture, and Rural Affairs. He's also the author of Senate Bill 28.
SB 28 is my #1 priority for the session.
SB 28, along with Senate Joint Resolution 75, would create a new water supply for Texas fund. Money that would go toward new water projects and infrastructure improvements with a focus on rural communities.
The number of boil water notices in 2022 topped 3,000. Of these, 2,211 are systems with under 3,300 in populations. Our small systems are suffering under lack of tax base to fix big infrastructure water system projects.
I think water is a priority for this session.
Jerry Mazer is a senior policy advisor for Texas 2036, a nonprofit public policy think tank. He says the last time lawmakers focused this much on water was 10 years ago. Back then, Texas was in a drought, causing billions of dollars in economic losses. Voters ultimately approved new funds for water supply projects. In 2023, Texas is in a drought again.
We're a land of perpetual drought, visited by the occasional biblical flood.
Mazer points to several high-profile water incidents as another reason behind the legislative focus. In February of last year, Laredo was under a boil water notice for 13 days after corrosion caused a break in the city's main water line. In June, a mainline break in Odessa's aging water system left tens of thousands of people without water for 48 hours. And in November, a power outage at a Houston water treatment plant forced millions of people under a boil water notice for 36 hours.
The issue of aging, deteriorating water, and leaking water and wastewater infrastructure has certainly risen in an elevation of importance.
In November, the KVUE defenders looked at the state's water plan that estimates our population will go from more than 29.6 million in 2020 to more than 51.4 million in 2070, an increase of 73%. Experts and lawmakers say if new water supplies aren't created, there won't be enough water for all Texans. Back in Summervale,
This part right in here.
Lockhart shows us the main water connection that froze on Christmas Day, leaving residents without water. He has since installed insulation to prevent another freeze and wrapped exterior pipes. Lockhart and his daughter also shared a letter they sent to Travis County officially asking for help, a first step that could lead to funding for new pipes that will keep the water flowing for the 81 customers in Summervale.
Because you got to have water to live.
For the KVUE Defenders, I'm Jenny Lee.
Jenny, thank you. Senate Bill 28 and Senate Joint Resolution 75 have gotten through the Senate, but not the House yet. SB 28 was left pending in a House committee back on Tuesday. Its companion bill, House Bill 10, hasn't been heard in committee yet. The House and Senate set aside different amounts of money for water funds. You can read more about that on our website, kvue.com.